Every security guard eventually gets a medical call, and the first time it happens, nobody tells you what actually comes next. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how security guards respond to a medical call from dispatch to report writing. But first, a disclaimer. This is general guidance, not medical training. Always follow your site post orders, local policy, and your level of certification. Hands-on CPR and AED training is required to perform CPR and AED confidently and correctly. Step 1. Receive the call and acknowledge. What happens is dispatch calls out a medical. What you do is acknowledge immediately, repeat the location back, and confirm that you're en route. Step 2. Confirm EMS status and severity. Before you arrive, get the basics. Ask dispatch, is EMS already notified? What's the condition? Are they conscious, unconscious, breathing, not breathing, bleeding, seizure, chest pain, allergic reaction, etc.? Is the supervisor or second unit also responding? This matters because it changes your urgency and what you bring with you. For instance, an AED, first aid kit, gloves, etc. Step 3. Don't go in alone if you can avoid it. If policy and resources allow, link up with the additional unit or supervisor and enter together. This matters because of safety. It's an unknown scene. You get better control of a space. One person can assess while the other communicates and controls bystanders. Step 4. Approach safely. Before you touch anyone, do a fast scan. Any hazards, blood, needles, violence, chemicals, heat, smoke, broken glass. Maybe a ladder is down and the person is near it. Is the patient in a dangerous position? Stairs, roadway, kitchen, machinery. Is the scene escalating? A crowd, an argument, intoxication? If the scene is unsafe, back off. Request police and EMS stage response and keep people away from the area. Step 5. Initial assessment, conscious versus unconscious. This is your fork in the road. If the person is conscious, you're going to do a quick interview and observation. You're going to introduce yourself and ask them if it's okay if you help them. Then you can ask questions like, what happened? What symptoms are you having? Do you have any allergies? Any medical conditions? Are you taking any medications? While you're asking, look for obvious bleeding, burns, swelling, or other signs. Watch their breathing and skin color. Notice if they're confused, have slurred speech, or look like they're in distress. If the person is unconscious, transmit it immediately. Patient unconscious is a major update. If EMS wasn't already rolling, dispatch must send them now. Step 6. Basic responsiveness and breathing check. If they're unconscious, tap them lightly, shout to attempt to awake them, and check for breathing. If they're not breathing, request and confirm AED response. Start CPR if you're trained and authorized by policy. Get the AED on the way as soon as possible. Step 7. Provide first aid that's within your scope. If they're conscious and responsive, again, ask them if it's okay for you to assist them. If that is granted, aid the person. Don't play medic. For example, you can use first aid by administering a bandage or gauze for minor bleeding, institute comfort measures, give them a good seated position, try to keep them warm, and reassure them their help is on the way. If they have prescribed medication, you can assist them in accessing it. They administer it themselves. For instance, if they're having an allergic reaction and they point to their EpiPen, you retrieve it, but they use it. Step 8. Keep dispatch updated for major changes only. Don't just spam the radio. Update dispatch when it matters. For instance, if they become unconscious or they're not breathing, their condition is worsening, EMS is needed if it wasn't already dispatched, or the patient refusing care, RMA. EMS arrival and departure. Step 9. Refusal of medical assistance, RMA. Sometimes the patient refuses help. That's their right. What you need to do is notify dispatch that the patient is refusing help, encourage them to be evaluated if it's appropriate without starting an argument. For instance, people don't always understand risk. A small burn that they think is no big deal can still become infected. You can recommend they at least get checked out by EMS, if not go to the hospital. Don't force anything. Let EMS handle medical judgment when possible, or your supervisor. Step 10. Start logging information early. If they're conscious and stable, start recording the exact location, building, floor, room, time you were dispatched, time you arrived, the patient name, plus an institutional ID, like an employee ID if applicable, what you observed on arrival, only objective facts. what they reported, just a short summary, and any first aid rendered. Check out my Etsy and Beacons pages for tools like my customizable security incident report and the 2026 Security Guard Scenario Bible for a helpful reference guide on how to deal with situations like medicals and more. Links are in the video description. Step 11. Prepare for EMS arrival. This is where guards make EMS love them. Assign roles if you have 2+ staff. One stays with the patient, one goes to meet the EMS and escort. If EMS is close, you can hold the elevators only if their arrival is imminent. Clear hallways and choose the most efficient entrance. It's important that you know your building. EMS should arrive where it's fastest to reach the patient, not necessarily the main entrance. Step 12. EMS arrival and escort logistics. When EMS arrives, greet them at the best entry point. Move them quickly to the patient. Provide direct route guidance, elevators, stairwells, locked doors. Step 13. Information transfer to EMS. Give EMS the essentials. What you found, whether the patient was conscious, any changes you saw, any first aid provided, any relevant patient statements. Then get out of the way so they can do their jobs. Step 14. Crowd control and privacy. Your job now is scene control. Keep friends, onlookers, and bystanders back. Create space for EMS, keep the environment calm, and protect the patient's privacy. Step 15. Transport decision and disposition. Either EMS transports the patient or the patient refuses and EMS documents that decision, or EMS evaluates and clears without transport. If transport happens, confirm where they're transporting them and confirm whether the patient left with EMS and transmit that information to dispatch. Step 16. Capture EMS crew info and times. On the way out, with or without the patient, you want to get the EMS crew chief name, their badge number or unit number if that's what you can get, the time EMS arrived, the time EMS cleared, and the transport destination if applicable. Step 17. Post-clear procedures. Once EMS clears the area, restore normal operations, reopen areas if they were restricted, notify your supervisor and dispatch that the scene is clear, and document any follow-up needed. Clean up facilities, incident escalation, etc. Step 18. Write the report. Do it while it's fresh. Your report should include the timeline, dispatch time, arrival, EMS arrival, and clear. Objective observations, not opinions. Patient statements, quoted or summarized. Actions taken, first aid, CPR, AED use, escort, crowd control. The EMS disposition, transported, refused, cleared, and names and IDs collected. Step 19. Rookie documentation mistakes to avoid, like writing medical diagnoses. They were having a heart attack instead of they complained of chest pain and shortness of breath. Leaving out times, giving a vague location like in the building instead of specific areas, forgetting EMS crew info, forgetting disposition, were they transported, were they refused, were they cleared? Step 20. Close the incident. The end state should be clear. The patient status at handoff, the EMS action taken, the scene returned to normal, the report completed and submitted per procedure. I recognize that this is a little bit different from the normal guides that I do, but it seemed like something that was pertinent and directly related to on-the-ground responses. So let me know in the comments if you liked it, if you found it helpful, if you found it valuable, and I'll try to do more. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more guard guides, and be safe.